All right, we're going to take a little bit of a hiatus from the heavy stuff. Do a little bit of a speed round here.
All right.
So we'll call it overrated, underrated. I want to get your gauge on if a topic I give you, if you think it's underrated or overrated. We'll start with virtual reality. Underrated or overrated?
It's, it's funny. I'm going to try to be as binary as possible and not give you a typical consulting answers to your questions. In our context, I think it's overrated. I think we need to let that mature. If I worked at Lockheed Martin, someone spoke about Lockheed earlier, and I was training aircraft mechanics, it would be underrated because I could see it being used so well for that. But overall, it is a fad and a trend that in our world, I think we need to let play through. More important things.
Yeah. All right, how about ROI? The concept of ROI on learning.
It's funny, I've kind of changed my tune a little bit on this one. I used to be that person who said that ROI was a huge waste of time. We shouldn't even try to invest in figuring it out. And I think the people who go out and try to use regression models to say that of the 19% increase in profitability in the organization this year, learning claims 3%. Even learning people don't believe those numbers. So I would never advise anybody to do that kind of work. But in general, trying to figure out what's that credible point of business value and communicating that back to the business makes a lot of sense. At Deloitte, the things that work the best, and Chris, I've learned this from you, are one is stories. When you can take a story and say, person learned this, they went and did this, and this happened, and it's a big public thing, that's a huge thing that helps us get momentum. And then using some of our new data elements, data analytics has a trend, and getting those small pieces that can give you evidence of what's working makes sense. So in those ways, stories and really precise data, it can work well, but this big ROI regression analysis thing never works. Nobody buys it.
Do you think it's basically like a causational, correlational misunderstanding that we've kind of gotten fixated on this causational approach to measurement, and it just isn't, it's so messy that it's impossible to do that?
Yeah, I think everybody says, if I were to go present one of those analyses, I would deal with 20 questions about, but wait a second, weren't there these market factors, weren't there these business factors that really made up the variance of that? And the answer would be yes. So then you go into you come out of the meeting less credible than you went in, and that's bad.
Yeah, right. That's definitely underrated. You don't want to do that. Yeah. All right. So, as a visitor to the state of Pennsylvania, I'll ask you this question: is Wawa overrated or underrated? Because I just don't get it. I really don't.
Well, we also, even in Pennsylvania, I don't know if we have any central PA people. We have the Sheetz versus the Wawa, right? So Sheetz versus Wawa, and I went to college in central PA, so I have a little bit of a Sheetz affiliation as well with the schmuffin that they sell at Sheetz. But in general, the Wawa concept is a hybrid gas station food concept, which on paper seems to be a little bit suspect.
Yeah, right. I saw something there. We have a chain of gas stations called Speedway in the Chicago area, and they're now starting to sell pizzas. Like full-on pizzas that you can go to fill up at the gas station, and of course you want your clerk who is dealing with all the money and also with the gas to serve you pizza as well. That is exactly what you want.
Right, they put on the plastic gloves.
That's right. Yeah. It's very hygienic. All right, you're a home brewer. Right? That's one thing I found out. You like to brew beer at home. So another Pennsylvania question: Yuengling, underrated or overrated?
Oh, of course it's underrated, right? Yuenglings are great. For those of you who've never had a chance to tour it, I would encourage you to tour it, and you can see the caves they have up in Pottsville where they would store the kegs. Yuengling also makes ice cream now, but yeah, it's a great American story of how they survived Prohibition, and now they're the oldest brewery in America.